Kobe Manu of Manchester United, 18-year-old from Stockport, showed that he's got very tidy feet last night, didn't he? Scored a 97th minute winner as Manchester United beat Wolves 4-3. Simon, I tell you what, he came back, Marcus Rashford, and he opened the scoring in the opening minutes. Was that the perfect response after the hijinks in Belfast?
That's the way to do it. That's what you do. Your football do the talking. So I'm not surprised to some extent that Ten Hag played him, because the big underlying message from Ten Hag was he took responsibility. That's a direct broadside at Jadon Sancho, by the way. He took responsibility. And so Rashford doing what Rashford should be doing. He should be playing football. He should be doing it to the highest level, and he should be scoring goals. And there's no better way to put a story to bed.
To get back in, though, to get back in the team, was it just an apology then that was needed? Because Sancho refused, didn't he?
Well, I think that's the point I'm making, Mark. The fact is that the sentiment that Ten Hag said was he took responsibility. Yeah. Matter closed. That, to me, is a broadside against others that haven't. Right? And that can only mean Jadon Sancho. So with that in mind...
He still doesn't make it right, though. He still doesn't make it right. And he suggests a culture in that dressing room that's not quite right.
No,
and that needs to be got to at some point. But it's commendable the way he came back, but he owed that to his teammates.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did his job. I mean, let's not lose sight of the fact that he did his job. And we too often in society, we pat people on the back for doing the bleeding bare minimum. His job is to play well for his team. He's played well, but you can't answer the critics. You can't put things to bed better than dealing with your manager. I mean, first of all, he shouldn't have done the things that he's done. I mean, they're ridiculous. It's the second instance of him making judgment calls that are poor. This one is really based upon disrespect. The first one was, I'll go out after Man City have spanked us and I'll take no notice of that and be seen in the wrong place. That's just a judgment call, and people can say the optics of that. This one was a disrespect.
Yeah, but he played angry last night, and he played with a point to prove, and it wasn't on that pedestal again. Will it be there next time?
Well, this is
how
the
do you keep motivating him? That's what they'll need to do.
How does he keep motivating him? Surely the onus is on him.
Of course it is. Of course it is. But Ten Hag, shouldn't have to motivate his players, should he? He shouldn't have to be somebody at rock bottom first before they can then bounce back from that. So you've got to get them. I think the results they're getting now will start to turn their season around. They showed really good character to come. Credit to Wolves, but a fantastic game.
Oh, it was more than a decent game.
And Manchester United just kept going. They were by far the better team in the first half.
We were back in the studios of Talk TV last night, Martin. Our minds were on deadline day when we saw the United team. There was a bit of surprise that Rashford was in from the start. Was that the right move with Ten Hag saying, right, go out there and show me what you can do?
I think Ten Hag is demonstrating, isn't he, that if you're going to show remorse and you're going to apologise and you're going to adhere to the rules and the new culture we're trying to create, then you play. Obviously, you've got to then turn it on, and I think he did that. He looked on fire last night at times. It would have concerned you the way that they capitulated and let Wolves back into the game when they were 3-1 up.
Yeah.
Despite the fact he tried to close it off by bringing the substitutes on. But no, nonetheless, the youngster in midfield, I mean, he looks like a generational player they're talking about. Okay, he had injury problems at the start of the season, Mainu, but he really does look the part in that midfield, and he looks like another one. It's been a long time really since we've seen young players coming through at Manchester United. The class of '92 were just incredible. We've served that club for so long and so well, so many medals, so many appearances.
So they move up the table as a bit distance, 8 points between them and the Champions League
11
places.
from Man City.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Simon, I think Ten Hag is flexing his muscle and saying it's my way or the highway. Rashford gets his chance, took it. Good for him, he's back in the fold, but he's got to stay there. Again, I think Ten Hag has shown what he is all about.
Well, I think, wasn't it always thus? I mean, what we see is a battle, it would appear. The culture would appear to not reflect the sentiments of the Manchester United of years gone past. And it's been going on for some time, and he's been trying to correct this and right this ship. And there's a style of management that if you believe the rumour mill, the players don't appear to be having him. We've heard ideas that they don't like certain things about. He flogs them into the ground. And also he seems to be quite disciplined. But it doesn't seem to translate because there is no real explanation for a player. You can hear these old stories from people like John O'Shea popping up saying, well, it happened to Ferguson. Well, I don't really remember it happening to Ferguson. I don't really remember players doing too much of this where they didn't think they had to turn into training. Maybe we didn't hear it. Maybe social media wasn't so prevalent then. But the point is that Ten Hag's been there for 18 months. These players should now know the expectation levels of them. And we will see. The thing about Marcus Rashford that I always maintain is this ridiculous characterisation of him being a world-class footballer, which he's not. He's a very good footballer, and he should be to be in Man United's side. But the balance between what he is and what he isn't often gets muddied. What he needs to do is show the application on the field that sometimes he's criticised for not doing.
Well, he came back in last night. Does he stay in when Manchester United take on West Ham on Sunday? We shall see. 2 o'clock kickoff for that one.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10. On AM, on DAB, via the TalkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. TalkSPORT.